The first subscription service that you may have been purchasing month-to-month membership in is with your mother. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I've been counseling many women and men who have been abused over the years, and there's been a lot of talk. One of the things I want to come on here and talk to you all about is there's been a lot of talk about how on the newest episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac, there's a lady up there whose mother is maybe grandiose about, all of the money that her daughter has. And I'm here to tell you, after working with many women and men who've been incarcerated, a lot of people have to, do fraudulent activities to buy their mother's love. And I call it a subscription or membership service because your mother loves you as long as the money's good, as long as the money and the gifts and all that stuff keeps coming, then her love is a little bit more on the unconditional side. The minute your wallet dries up, the minute you can't do whatever it is you need to do to make her happy, that love becomes a lot more conditional and she's tapped out. She's got nothing for you. But, the only thing you're going to hear is a dial tone because she doesn't even want to hear from you. And I've talked with you guys about this before and working with people who have, I personally worked with a number of people who have committed finance fraud, and a lot of people can't get out of it. One, because it's generational, and two, it's the only thing that a lot of times ties people to their family, meaning that, once they stop committing fraud, once that money taps out, family is gone, community is gone. Nobody wants nothing to do with them. But namely, many women commit that for the love and acceptance of their mother. That's how much they're craving that emotional connection with their mother. Like, I'll do anything for my mother. And sometimes men too. Men also get caught up in this too. I will do anything for the love and acceptance of my mother. And that can set the stage for validation out in the real world. And, unfortunately with finance fraud or finance crimes, you always have to be finding out ways to make more money, right? So there's always going to need to be more fraud because there's a need to make more money from their perspective. And a lot of mothers not only do they become cold and rejecting, but they can become downright nasty and abusive and, smear your name up. You're the biggest loser. You're this, you're that, really sort of smut your name up to the community when your money taps out. No, they're not coming to visit you in jail. You would never nothing anyway. All that kind of good, not good stuff, but stuff. You guys get what I'm saying. And, I also think another aspect of this is how much culture plays into this. I see this a lot more with Black and brown communities. I'll be honest with you. I would say probably the number one community that I've seen this in that I really haven't talked a whole lot about on here would be Middle Eastern communities. In Middle Eastern community, a lot of the culture stems around value of material things. In other words, we do it big or you go home. So you've got to have money. You've got to be able to spend in our community. And believe it or not, there's a lot of people who commit fraud, that I've worked with in Middle Eastern communities. And a lot of it is because they have to keep up that reputation that they're worthy, that they've got it like that to be seen as anybody in the community. And it's more so than what we have in the traditional U.S.-based community. And it becomes a talk of the town within your family. And then if your family sees that you're struggling, and again, I'm not trying to say this is all family, I'll put that disclaimer up there. But if your family sees that you're struggling, then you're not worthy of love. You're not doing anything with your life. You're not a doctor. You're not an engineer. You're not bringing in a substantial amount of income. Not only are your parents, the whole family is ashamed of you, and you could be ostracized and things like that. So it would be like a thing where it's like, no, you know, I have to have money and I have to be able to support my family. Also, immigrants have this challenge as well, because a lot of immigrants are sending home money. They're sending home barrels of goods and things like that. And their family is counting on that. And their family is calling up, ordering up like McDonald's, like, no, I want this, this, and this. And you have to send it home. And a lot of times immigrants will also, they'll send home that money or send home those before they even take care of their own nuclear family. This was an example of this was on the show 90 Day Fiance. This is a big bone of contention between Pedro and Chantel. And they would always fight about how he's sending his money outside of the home to his mother and to his sister before he's taking care of what needs to go on in their home. And there was a lot of anger and resentment that built up over that. But it was never enough. And, growing up in a Black family, I too have also seen it firsthand, where it's like, we've got to take care of, grandma, you got to take care of all these people, and we're constantly giving. And the expectation is, it goes to her first, and then everybody else becomes is after her, but she's the top priority. And so I'm just here to say that sometimes your first subscription membership service is to your mother or to your parents and family, in terms of you turning over your money and your material goods. And, when you don't pay that subscription anymore, you're as good as toast. Let me know what you guys think. Hope that helps.